If your iPhone battery constantly drains and never seems to last all day, don't worry, because in today's video, I'll be going over 8 battery tips that you can fix immediately to get that all-day battery life. Starting with tip number 1, change the way mail works. By default, your iPhones are set to something called push, which drains your battery like crazy, and disabling it actually doesn't take away from your experience. Go into settings, tap on search, and look for mail. Inside, you'll see something called mail accounts. Open it, and at the bottom, you'll see fetch new data. The way this works is very simple. This is how your new mail is going to come through, and by default, it's set to push. And what push means is that it's going to be constantly checking all of your mail accounts like Gmail and iCloud Mail for new emails every second. It's constantly checking and drains your battery a lot. Now, towards the bottom, you'll see another option that you have, which is called Fetch. Fetch allows you to pick how often your iPhone checks for new emails. The first option is manually, so it'll only check for new mail when you actually open the app. Hourly is obviously every hour. Then you have every 30 minutes and every 15 minutes. I recommend everyone to set theirs to 15 minutes because it's usually more than enough. And you don't really need to have your phone check for new mail every single second, you know? So overall, just make sure to disable push, set it to 15 minutes, and you're good to go. The next tip I recommend is to change your cellular response. Ever since the iPhone 13s, Apple has added support for 5G cellular connectivity. By default, your iPhone will constantly try to connect to 5G, but if the signal is weak, it will drain more battery since 5G isn't available everywhere yet. To fix this, go into settings, cellular data options, and under voice and data, select 5G auto. This setting lets your iPhone manage the connection better using 5G only when it's available and efficiently, saving you loads of battery throughout the day. Additionally, if you're someone who also doesn't live in a major city like New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago, chances are that 5G isn't strong and you're better off just using LTE instead. Now, next tip is a little controversial, but I personally haven't had any issues with this, and that's going to be adjusting your background app refresh. If you go into your settings, general, and background app refresh, you'll see a list of apps that you have installed on your iPhone that have this enabled. My personal recommendation is to turn this off for apps that use this feature way too much, and that's going to be your social media apps. Now, before you start freaking out, hear me out. This will not impact or affect notifications whatsoever. So just because you turn it off for an app like Instagram, for example, this doesn't mean that you won't get a notification if something happens or if someone messages you. This is just not refreshing the app content in the background constantly all the time. So please go ahead and turn this off for social media apps like Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and more. Additionally, I would also recommend turning off background app refresh for apps that you don't use on a daily basis in general, since there's no need to have it on for them in the first place. Lastly, if you look on the top, I would recommend changing it to Wi-Fi only and not Wi-Fi and cellular, because of course Wi-Fi is going to use less battery than cellular does. So far, we've gone over changing the way mail works, changing the iPhone cellular response, and adjusting the background app refresh. There are still 5 more tips that I recommend you do in order to extend your battery life without ruining your iPhone experience. The next tip is something that you might not think is correlated with battery life, but it actually is. And that's going to be limit your iPhone's speakers. So if you go into your settings, click on sounds and haptics, and go all the way to the bottom, you'll see we have a toggle called volume limit for the built-in speakers. Go into that and you'll want to limit the maximum volume for your iPhone's external speakers. I recommend having this on and set the limit to 80%. What this does is reduce how loud the sounds from your iPhone play, which helps with battery life because sounds playing from your speakers kills your phone battery. This is something that you'll turn on and forget. That way you don't strain your iPhone's speakers, which can lead to battery drain over time. The 5th recommendation I have is to set a charge limit. You should never charge your iPhone's battery to 100%. Go to settings, then battery, and click on charging. Here, you are able to choose a charging limit for your iPhone. So before, you could only choose optimized battery charging on or off, which is a feature that still exists as you can see, but now you also have the possibility to choose exactly when you want your charging to stop at an exact percentage. So let's say, for example, I want to set it to 80%, which is actually Apple's recommendation. This means means that when you plug your iPhone to the charger, it will only charge to 80% and stay there. In the long run, over a few months and years, this helps your battery and allows it to hold its charge for a longer period of time throughout the day. Now, of course, if you know that you're going to need your battery for longer, you can always just set it back to 100% so you get a full charge and are able to use the extra battery. But don't forget to turn it back down to 80% afterwards. In the battery settings, there's a new section in iOS 26 called Adaptive Power, which uses AI to predict when you'll need your iPhone the most and help save the battery for those tasks. It's honestly amazing, and you should definitely turn this one on as well. Next up is a classic that I have to mention, and that's set location services for apps. Some apps use GPS to work better, but this can lead to higher battery usage. To limit this, I recommend going to settings, then privacy and security, location services, and choosing either while using the app or never for each app. This way, the app will only use location services when necessary, reducing battery strain. And I also recommend turning off precise location so that apps don't know exactly where you are and will instead use a wider area. Of course, if you have an app that needs GPS always on, like navigation, or a tracking app like Life 360, no worries. Just decide based on your needs to find the right balance between battery life and functionality. Like, for example, an app like Credit Karma doesn't need to know where I am. Then from here, you can scroll down to where it says System Services, and I personally recommend to keep all these on because these all matter for functionality. But if you scroll down, you'll see the Product Improvement section, and I actually recommend turning all of these off because these aren't going to negatively affect your experience, and it's an easy way to save battery life. Let Apple make their own improvements to their products. Now, this next tip might seem obvious, but so many people don't know how to change it because it's buried in settings, and that's going to be turning off auto brightness. You should never let your iPhone adjust the brightness for you. So to disable this, go into Settings, Accessibility, Display and Text Size, scroll down and toggle off auto brightness. When you have this turned on, your iPhone will try and predict how bright you should have your screen, but more people find it to be unreliable and constantly annoying and have to readjust it every single time. You're better off controlling this yourself and setting it so that it's comfortable for your eyes. So turning this off will not only improve your experience, but also save lots of battery all day. Now, for the last tip, most people don't realize that they have this turned on, and that's going to be turning off screen time. So obviously, screen time is going to be highly beneficial to keep track of your screen time. However, if you're not somebody who uses this often, I recommend turning this completely off. To do that, it's very simple. Just go into Settings, scroll down to where it says Screen Time, and scroll all the way down until you see Turn Off Apps Website Activity in red font. Like I said, some people like this to be mindful of their phone habits, but most people don't care about this, and it's just something more gimmicky and sucks up your battery. And there you have it, 8 iPhone battery saving tips that you can use immediately and will notice a difference every day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with a friend to help them out. I'll see you guys next time.